Hey, welcome back to Clues by Sam. It is Monday, so we have an easy one. If you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it is a logic puzzle game where you have 20 people. Some are innocent, some are criminal, and each of them may give you a clue to help you figure out who's who, and you need to do no guessing. Let's try to make it easy for today. Starting now with Helen, we have Tom is one of two criminals below Irving. So Irving is here, Tom is here, and he's a criminal. And we know there's another one among John and Oliver. Now Tom's telling us there are more criminals than innocents below Alice. Where's Alice? Here. Okay, so we know there's one innocent below Alice already and one criminal. If Irving were to be a innocent, then we would have the same number of criminals and innocents. So Irving is a criminal too. And we don't need Tom's clue anymore. Now Irving is telling us that exactly one innocent in row 2 is neighboring Bonnie. Bonnie is here, row 2 is here, and Helen is neighboring Bonnie, and she's an innocent. So we know that Freya is a criminal. Don't need this clue anymore. Now Freya is telling us that both criminals below Colin are connected. Well, that tells us that Ruby is a criminal, because there's no way for Maddie and Zaya to be both criminals, since they wouldn't be connected. So Ruby is a criminal. And we know there's another one among these. Now Ruby is telling us exactly one doctor has an innocent directly to the right of them. Let's look at all the doctors. This is a doctor, Helen is a doctor. No other doctors. And one of them has a criminal to the right of him. So Helen has to have an innocent to the right. And we don't need this clue anymore. Now, Igor, how do you guys say that? Igor? Igor is telling us that the person directly above Freya is a criminal. So Bonnie is a criminal. And Bonnie is telling us there are exactly 2 innocents in column C. Interesting. So we know that Helen is one of them, the other one is here, and Colin has to be a criminal. Don't need this clue anymore. Now Colin's telling us there's an odd number of innocents in column A. Well, since we know there's one innocent here, if Alice were to be an innocent too, we would have an even number, so Alice has to be a criminal. And we don't need this clue anymore. Now Alice is telling us that Igor's diagonal neighbors are all criminals. Igor only has 2 diagonal neighbors. One of them is Maddie, the other one is Colin, so Maddie has to be a criminal too, and Zaya is an innocent. We don't need this clue anymore. And we don't need Freya's clue anymore. Now Maddie is telling us some flavor text, and Zaya is telling us exactly 2 of the 4 innocents on the edges are Paul's neighbors. The edges are all around the board, and we know there are only 4 innocents on the edges. One of them is here, the other one is Zaya, and the other one is Igor, so we have one more to find out. Two of them are Paul's neighbors. Paul is here, one of them is here. Zaya is the other one, so we know that Will is a criminal. Now Will's telling us that Nicole and Alice have an equal number of criminal neighbors. Alice has 3 criminal neighbors, and 3 neighbors in total. And Nicole has 5 neighbors total, but she already has 2 criminal ones. There's only one left. Scott has to be a criminal too. And we don't need this clue anymore. Now Scott's telling us there are more innocent doctors and innocent guards. There are 2 doctors, one of them is innocent. So we know that all guards are criminal. No other guards? Nope. So we don't need Scott's clue anymore. Now Nicole's telling us all criminals in row 5 are connected. So we know that Zara is an innocent, because if she were to be a criminal, she wouldn't be connected to the other ones. And we don't need Nicole's clue anymore. Now Zara is telling us that column B has more criminals than any other column. Most importantly, we now know all of the 4 innocents on the edges, which are Zaya, Zara, Igor, and someone from here. So Deborah is a criminal. Now, about column B. Column B has 3 criminals already. And every other column has 3 criminals so far. But we know that column A has 4 criminals total. So everyone in column B has to be a criminal. So both Linda and Paul are criminal. Now Linda is telling us that Zaya and Irving have an equal number of innocent neighbors. Zaya has 1 innocent neighbor, and Irving has no one so far, but the only one left is John, so John has to be an innocent and Oliver a criminal, and we are done. That was under 6 minutes. Really nice, an easy one. Just reinforcing our clue types. So that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with our Clues by Sam. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see it.